I plan on doing a TBR for the autumn-winter part of this year. I don't do a lot of TBR videos because I don't tend to stick to a TBR. This is more of a goal list, but fall and winter, I love that part of the year. I love Christmas that's coming up, and I do like the cooler weather. Except when it gets cold, then I don't like it. I like that middle piece very much. Today it's like 90 degrees, so who am I really kidding here with the fall? But I have an iced coffee that I made. I have a cardigan on like our friend Taylor Swift would love, and I thought I would just take you through a list of a couple books that I want to get to this autumn. Okay, so first on my list, and this is in no particular order, but first is The Lost Queen by Signe Pike. I have owned this book for so long. I think it was even like a pre-order or like a new release when I bought it. I mean, it's hardcover, so it was like a newer release, and I bought it because it sounds so interesting. It is a Merlin retelling with Arthur and Morgana, and I think it focuses more on Morgana's story, which just sounds so cool to read. I don't know why I haven't gotten to it yet, and I don't feel like I've actually seen a lot of people talk about it, but I think it's something I would really enjoy. I love Merlin Arthur sort of mythology there, and I think it would be so interesting to read. My copy is a little bit water damaged because when I moved in the rain, and this is the ones that kind of got affected, but it's still in good enough condition, and I would really like to get to it this fall because I also feel like it kind of just fits those fall vibes because it's a fantasy, it's magical, and I think it would be a really good read. Next on my TBR is actually a reread, but Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I'm actually already on chapter 3. I'm actually doing a little thing on my Instagram with this. I am reading chapter by chapter out loud for my Insta stories and just sort of sharing this little bit of love that this story holds for me, for anyone who just needs like a 20-minute break where they can just turn their brain off and listen. I am reading this book chapter by chapter and sharing it that way so people can watch it and just relax, and that'll be my reread. I don't know how long it'll take. There's a lot of chapters. There's 47 chapters in this book, so it'll probably take me quite a while to finish this reread, but it's definitely something I want to work towards during this fall season. Next is Some Like It Wild by Teresa Medeiros. I put this on my TBR because this is one of the books that I started for my Try Chapter tag. The other book I started in that is also on my TBR. This is just the one I chose over it because this is the first in a series, so I feel like I'd like to get to this one faster. Look at this, step back. But this is a historical romance that takes place in the Highlands of Scotland. It sounds like a lot of fun. Even in the first chapter there was like a highwayman, and he is, I'm assuming, going to be the love interest, and I think it'll be really interesting to see these characters go from that sort of hateful relationship to a love relationship, and I cannot wait to get to this one. Next, the other historical romance that I think I most want to get to is A Daring Arrangement by Joanna Shupe. Joanna Shupe has very quickly became my favorite historical romance author. I've read her other series, which has The Rogue of Fifth Avenue, The Prince of Broadway, and whatever the third one's called, but I loved those books, so I would really like to get to this one soon. I don't know what this one is about, and I don't know if this one is set in America. It is, yeah, New York City's golden age, and I just love that setting. It's so interesting, and I love her characters. I love the relationships she creates, and a lot of the times she has that sort of rebellious girl and like the notoriously bad guy, and I just love that dynamic, and she writes so well, and I really want to get to this one soon. Next, the other historical romance I want to get to is Dukes Prefer Blondes by Loretta Chase. This was one I picked up recently at Bookman's as a used copy because I saw it recommended on Chandler Ansley's channel, and for some reason it just sounded really good to me. It's also got a gorgeous step back. It is a bad boy, good girl type of romance, and I feel like those are the ones I end up really liking, so I definitely want to give this one a try. I've never read a Loretta Chase before, so I am very excited to read this one. Next is one I'm kind of ashamed I have not read yet, and that is Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. I was so hyped for this book. I do not know why I have not picked it up yet. I haven't, but I want to read it so bad, and honestly, it's so short. I just noticed this art on the inside. Was no one gonna tell me this was here? It's so beautiful. I knew there was stuff on the front cover. I looked at that one, I looked at the other one. Anyway, I'm very, very excited to read this. I don't know why I haven't yet. It looks so good. I love Simon and Baz. I don't really know how she is going to handle a story that doesn't have a main plot like the last one did, like they had a big villain to fight, even if you were catching up at the end of the story, because Carry On sort of just takes that finale fight rather than everything that led up to it. But I am still very excited to read this and see more of Simon and Baz, even if it's not as plot heavy and more character heavy. I'm okay with that. So I'm very excited to get to this one this fall. I believe this came out 2020. So I at least want to read it within, no, it came out in 2019. So I was like, I want to read it in the year it was published, but I already missed out on that. Oh well, I would like to get to this very soon because it was like one of my most anticipated reads and I have yet to pick it up, so I need to get to it. Next, my spooky read for the year, I plan to be The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. I just look at this book. It is the most gorgeous thing. The red paint on the side, this cover, the little bits of red on the cover, it's got red end papers. It's just so beautiful. I don't know what it's about. I'm guessing it's spooky based on the title and the cover. I genuinely don't know what it's about. There's something, a mysterious book, a storm is coming, lush, moody Pacific Northwest. I don't need to know anymore if I'm being honest. This looks so good. I'm definitely going to get to this in October. I'm saying that to convince myself as well. I am so excited to give this one a try. I have not heard, I think, anyone talk about this book, so I am very excited to give it a try for myself and see what's going on in it because it looks so beautiful and I really hope what's on the inside lives up to the outside. Next, my last physical copy of a book I have here is Air of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. I would like to continue in the Throne of Glass series. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish the Throne of Glass series this year by any means, but I'd like to make some more strides. Air of Fire is really long. Why does Sarah J. Maas write such long books? Let's see. Yeah, this is 600 pages. Yeah, it's a hefty book, but I have been hearing that this is the book where things really start to turn around. If you didn't like the first two, this tends to be where people pick up and really like it. Or like even if you did like the first two, there's a lot of big turns in this one. The series sort of takes a different direction starting here, and I've heard that's where a lot of people start to like it even more. I know her main love interest is actually introduced in this one rather than Kyle from the second one, who I really love, but I know he eventually gets his own love interest too, so I'm very excited to dive deeper into this series and see where she takes these books because I know it's a lot different than what she originally set out and I'm interested to see that journey. I will say I have googled things, spoilers, so I do know a couple things that happen in the rest of the series, but I am very excited to keep going. I really do love Selena, even if this book isn't everyone's favorite. I am so excited to keep going. I do still like ACOTAR better probably, but I'm very excited to keep going with this one and see where it goes this fall. Next, I have 3 books on my Kindle that I would like to read, and the first one is The Beautiful by Renee Audier. I bought this one as a Kindle deal a couple months ago, and I feel like it's just the perfect fall read. It is spooky, there's vampires, it takes place in New Orleans. I honestly don't know anything else about it. I think it's a period piece. I think it takes place in 1800s, 17, I don't know. It takes place in the past, I think. All I know is vampires, and the cover is gorgeous, and I have yet to read Renee Audier, yet she's one of the biggest YA authors, so I really feel like I should give her a chance because I think I would really like her, and I am very excited to give this one a try. I am always up for more vampires. Next, let's keep on going because my camera is going to die. The next book on my Kindle that I would like to read is American Royals by Katharine McGee. This is another Kindle deal that I got. I am very excited for this one. I read The 1000th Floor by Katharine McGee a couple years ago. I never read the second one, not because I didn't want to, but because I have a very short attention span and just never got to it. But I'm very excited to pick this one up. I think it's a very unique idea to think of what if that the United States was based on a monarch and you had like actual princesses and princes and kings and queens in the United States like you did in England, and I think it will be very interesting to see that sort of alternate universe. And she just writes such fun books. They are just really cute reads. They're romantic, they're fluffy, they're suspenseful, they're so full of drama, and I really, really love it. I think it'll be a quick read, I think it'll be really fun, and I cannot wait to pick that one up. Now, the very last book on my TBR list for right now is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I believe that's the author. I'm going off my memory. This book was actually one of the biggest books of the summer, but I was not able to get to it in the summer because it was basically impossible to rent it at the library. But my mom actually ended up buying it on Kindle, so I am very excited to pick it up. I don't think I have seen anyone give it less than 5 stars or like 4.5 stars. Everyone that has read it has loved it, and that's really promising, obviously. So I'm gonna probably go in with some high expectations, but try and keep it chill, so in case I don't like it. But I feel like I will really love it. It sounds like such an interesting story. To have characters who are writers themselves, I feel like just adds such an interesting dimension to a novel, because the writer is putting little bits of herself in the story of her characters who are writers. And I cannot wait to see the banter. I feel like there's going to be a lot of laughing out loud as they enter into this competition of who can write the other person's genre better. And then also I've heard there's a lot of emotional complexity and emotional depth in this book, as I think the main female character is mourning her father who's recently passed away, so I definitely think that's going to be really interesting to read. I've seen a lot of romance booktubers who like legit are like sobbing at the end of this book, so that'll be interesting to see if I cry or not. There's not a lot of books that I cry in, so we'll see, but I mean, this will probably be the one if there is going to be a book I cry in, so I'm very excited to pick that up this fall, even if it is kind of a summer read. So that is my autumn TBR. I hope I can actually get to all of these books. We will see. I'm, like I said, not the best at sticking to a TBR just because I'm very big on mood reading, but a lot of these books I think I'm in the mood to read. We'll see. That always changes. I don't know, but I really hope I can get to at least some of these. There are some books that have been on my shelf for way too long that I think deserve to be read at this point, and there's a lot of books on my Kindle that I also want to get to, so I hope I can. I'm very excited for all these reads, and I really hope that I love some of them. So that is my fall TBR. I hope you enjoyed. I upload videos here every Sunday. I'm trying to do every Sunday in the middle of the school year. I think I've got it set to a schedule right now. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!